As we're just getting close to September, it's fall's going to be a whole new season, but one of those events that we always kind of look forward to in the Labor Day weekend is the Buxton Homecoming. As you know, they're also going virtual, and it's always great to see some past history of Buxton and the national history in there. And who better to talk about that than Shannon Prince, our curator from the Buxton National Historic Museum. Shannon, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation.
So I got to ask you, how have you been doing during this interesting time in our community, province, and the whole world for that matter?
The whole world. Considering everything that has been happening, it's been quite good, actually. Even though we have been closed and working between home and the museum, have still been busy, between webinars and conference calls and trying to do a recovery plan and what that's going to look like. It seems like since we have been on lockdown, I've been busier for some reason. People will ask me, so how are you doing and what are you doing since you're closed? And it's like, yeah, we're busy though. They don't understand that even though you're closed, there's still a lot of activities that still need to be done here at the museum, but it's still good. But it's also has been nice, like reconnecting with family via phone or via Zoom that you can't see. So that's quite nice as well.
It's the new COVID lifestyle where we're doing everything virtually, and obviously we want to see our loved ones, but phases are opening up in Ontario, and we're able to start doing that. I had a really awesome conversation with Deanna Bullard, who works over at the Oil Museum down in Oil Springs. And it was interesting to hear kind of what they were doing differently. What kind of things was the Buxton Museum doing to keep its members engaged during that crazy 2 months?
Well, we did more online Facebook posts and did more engaging with Twitter and Instagram than before. But I guess we've really seen an influx of visitors visiting the Facebook page, and I guess going back to that community and reconnecting families, because there's stories and pictures that they are identifying with, and now it's triggering those memories because everybody now is, they are all on Facebook and Zoom, etc. So when they see those pictures, and then it will automatically trigger with somebody else that they know. So it's just a way of, sharing those memories and stories. And then I guess it's so important because we are one of those communities because of the strong sense of place that was instilled here, and you don't want to lose where your roots are and where you've come from. So those people from across wherever are seeing them, and so now they're sharing them with their kids. So hopefully that will entice them to make a trip up here when we can open the doors.
Yep, I think that's kind of what we're looking to in the fall's that time where we're still seeing how the rest of 2020 is unfolding, and you guys have been busy, of course. The Buxton Homecoming is always one of those big events in the Labor Day weekend, and it's always a wonderful event. But unfortunately, you guys are going to have to go virtual, which I'm interested to see. What are you guys doing differently that is from other years?
Well, it is, and it was a really hard decision to make because this is our 97th year, and we still wanted to have something to say we continually have done it for quite a few years. I know we've canceled it twice due to rain, but very, very many, quite a few years ago. But the fact that, we were hoping even by September that, things would be reopened. But we also realized by then, you weren't going to be able to have those large number of groups as well, and then you would have to have all those permits submitted. And nobody was doing that now due to COVID. So we had to go virtual, and it was a hard decision. First, I guess one of the two questions we asked the committee, do we want to cancel altogether or do we want to go virtual? And it was unanimous, let's do virtual. And I guess because everybody was on board, after chatting about it, the plan just sort of fell in place. The conference that's being hosted, it's going to be virtual. But first they had to contact the speakers to see if they were still available and still willing to do that. And it's wonderful because now people who may not have been able to come previously due to other commitments or whatever. Now they will have that opportunity to hear some world-renowned speakers, and it's going to be offered free. So now maybe, you know, having that experience, you know, what is being offered at the conference. Now the following year, maybe they will come. They will, you know, try to mark a space out in their calendar for that. So Saturday, during our baseball tournament, we haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that yet. We're looking for old footage, actually, of some of the teams when we first started the family feud, and maybe getting some still pictures, and maybe have somebody do a, you know, like an announcement of somebody up to bat, that sort of thing. But Saturday night, the party in the park, because we have some footage of old soul train lines that we used to do back in the day, so to speak, and of some of the dances that we used to hold in different places, like at the Wish Center in Tilbury, at the Blue Bonnet, and at the Hall in Merlin. You know, some of those memories, because they're precious, you know, and a lot of those people that participated in them are now gone. So it's, you know, it's a testimony to them and their families, you know, how they are still remembered. And then Sunday, because our church has been having a virtual church now, but hopefully by then they will record it. And Monday is the parade. So at 12:30, when the parade would be starting, we will have, because we now we do have quite a few old you know, of parades and pictures. And so we've been encouraging people to submit them so we can compile a wonderful a virtual parade. So, and you know something, I think people will still come home. Whether there's, you know, even though we're not going to be here physically to share everything with you, I know people will come home, because that's where they need to be.
Home is where the heart is, and it sounds like you definitely have a lot of great nostalgia. This is a great time to bring this kind of stuff out. I know I was backing up a couple of old 8mm films, so for something like this to go virtual, this is a great way, you know, to throw it out in the social media world, and you know, who knows who else will figure out what's kind of going on. So
that's right.
Obviously, a lot of work goes into something like this, and you were saying that you have a great board of committee members and whatnot. How much more work is put into it than a normal homecoming year?
Actually, this is a little bit less.
Oh, that's good to know.
Well, because you don't have all of those permits that you have to contend with, and you know, the applications for insurance, and so all of that has been alleviated. So now, and my niece is going to compile all the video. She will do all the techie stuff that's going to be posted on Facebook. But we're also still doing our homecoming book, our souvenir book as well. And we're still in discussions about the button, because the theme this year that we already had decided upon pre-COVID was generations. So we've invited different families, or we've just put it out there. You know, if you would like to share some family stories, some pictures, you're more than happy to submit them to the Labor Day book. So, you know, as you can see, it's that generational, passing it down from generation to generation. So we're hopeful that the legacy will continue.
Yeah, this will be something we'll remember from many, many Buxton homecomings, and definitely looking forward to the Labor Day weekend to see what you guys you're bringing out to show, you know, all the history. So thank you for you and your team for what you guys are doing. Shannon, is there anything else that you would like to add as we close up?
Just we thank everybody for your, you know, continued support, and we hope to see you around sometime soon, whether it's virtual or at the museum.
Perfect. Thank you so much for what you're doing, Shannon, and hoping you're staying safe.
Thanks. You too.